Let's get into the drafting phase here for game number 2 in this best-of-5 series between Team SMG versus Imperial. Let's see which side they're going to be on.
What's funny is, as someone who is from the MPL Philippine region, and I heard what you said about it over there, Gideon, yesterday. Right, we're known for our Lord dances. It might not be super action-packed, but you know, there's a certain sense of finesse in a Lord dance, an extended one. I feel like Wildcard, we haven't seen that many Lord dances. It's been rather wild, right? Do you and that's why I'm saying I think now that we know what sides they're going to be on, Imperio, let's see if they can build around that, because I feel like they're going to be forced in that situation with Team SMG here.
Any predictions for first picks, Arashi? Because this time around, I don't know whether Imperial wants to show off what their jungler is going to be, or maybe even the EXP within the first phase.
I think they can get this Bruno here. Ure, as you can see, was the highest damage output, and he can hold his own. But no, they go for the Nolan, man. They want that aggression in the jungle. But now for SMG, they can go for a Faramis. They can counter these assassins, and they can go for the Bruno still if they really want. It's not worth it, though.
So what fighting style are we in now?
Well,
Tai Chi.
We're in Tai Chi. It might convert into Wing Chun later on, but we'll see in a little bit once we get into that second phase. Next 2 picks coming up inside of Team SMG. This time it's going to be Torizla as well as Bruno. I wonder if Marquino wants to get back at Smooth. He's like, you dominated me one game? Maybe I can get next word early on.
This is the question, can Marquinhos play the X-Borg, right? This is where the flexibility of these players are tested, because you can do well on 1 or 2 or even 3 heroes, but even afterwards, once those get taken away contextually or by direct bans, can you still maintain the same kind of performance? Imperial will go for that Faramis though, but I think if they want to go for the Faramis, a prerequisite for this pick is to get solid engages. They can really force your opponents to stay in there. Now that there's a Torizla on the side of SMG, I think that's a bit easier, because we saw what issues Marquinhos was struggling with in game 1.
Well, let's see whether or not this first half is going to be beneficial for him or maybe another teammate, and it looks like no, they're going to lean back into the Clint versus Bruno matchup.
I don't know how I feel about the Clint, man. I know he got to a point, you pointed it out, Arashi, the damage was there. I think it can work good if, for example, they can get the Nolan to go, snowball up, get some early damage out, let the Clint shine later on. But that still begs the question, how's the XP lane matchup going to be?
Yeah, I think it's tough, man. With the EXP once again moving in towards that second half, things are going to start spicing up. Oh, wow, we see an early Cho pickup from the side of Team SMG. And if you don't know who the crowd favorite is going to be here, have a look at the drums. It's hard to hear even ourselves. I can't imagine the coaches screaming, not out of anger at their players, but to quickly lock in their heroes.
Earlier, I turned my headset volume up, and I'm still having trouble hearing the two of you.
I'm going to start doing sign language soon, guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to do like non-verbal communication here, because the crowd, dude, the Malaysian crowd, Gideon, your home crowd is absolutely wild, man. This is crazy.
I mean, think about the growth of the crowd, by the way.
Yeah.
Back the last time I was here in Malaysia, you guys didn't have drums.
We didn't have drums. We actually picked that up pretty recently in our seasons, you know? We learned a lot from our older brothers in MPL ID a little bit, you know?
Hey, the Philippines did too.
Oh, that's true.
They did too. They learned it there as well.
Oh my goodness.
It's part of the game now, man. The fan base cheering. You have to feel for Imperio, man. Against a home crowd this passionate, you have to be feeling some kind of nerves, right? It might not like derail their whole game plan completely, but it's definitely something they're feeling.
I mean, they're feeling like they're into the nether realm, because right now, Farmus is currently the most picked. 19 times a mid lane hero, overtaking Valentina. Times are changing. The meta here at Wildcards is so different.
You know, there was a time though, and yeah, I feel like I'm yelling at this point, but there was a time that it was always Valentina and Faramis. You know, so it's like we took 2 steps forward, but we also took a step back.
I gotta bring this question to Arashi, right? Now,
what's up?
Let me just quickly wrap up the other bands. Lilia, Phoveus, Minotaur, and as well as X-Borg. The mid lane meta has been pretty awkward in recent times, right? The number of picks that you actually have access to has really dwindled down.
I think now it's first of all, you have to have good wave clear. I think now that's a a very important part of mid laning that needs to happen. You have to have good wave clear, but then you have to pick between being full utility or full damage. That's what it feels like it's going to happen. So for SMG now, they pick up the Akai also. And we've seen this yesterday, by the way. A Teresa and Akai, and how sometimes they can really cancel each other out. So you have to wonder if they're going to do that, or are they going to do the plan we saw, I believe, in day 2, where the Teresa will start to engage, but the Akai will split the team apart into 2 segments so that the team fight really falls into their favor.
Which is actually quite beneficial here. Now, we come back to Imperio side, they lock in the Yuzong. This is going to be a very volatile matchup between the Terizla. A single kill can skew it into one of these EXP's favors, and there's nothing much you can really do about it. That's just the state of EXP as of right now. But that final pick, it's going to be locked in right here, right now. It's Kufra once again. Stefe crushed it in game number 1, but not enough to get a game win. Team SMG finish it off with a Valentina.
See, this is what I was talking about. This is like a throwback in itself, right? Fairness and Valentina, 2 Nether Realms most likely on the board. But still, I like what Imperio did this time. Stefan had a great game, like you mentioned, Gideon. So if he can replicate that and do even better here, they can build around that. And my biggest question mark, once again, is the Nolan. We've seen teams opt for it. It works out well for some, and others, it just falls flat on its face.
Yeah, is it the same situation as Roger, or what are we thinking here?
I think it's a bit more difficult even compared to the Roger. You have more safety, as in you're a lot more mobile than the Roger, technically jumping over, you can dash over a lot of walls to escape. But at the same time, you need to enter from a very safe angle, because otherwise you are very vulnerable to crowd control, and the only real way you can escape is your main damage tool.
That being said, it is time. Let's test the mettle of both these teams as we head into our second game in this best of 5 between Team SMG versus Imperio Esports.
Whew, look at the battle spells right here. There's some purifiers available, but you have to wonder here in the jungle matchup, it's going to be a utility jungler against a damaged jungler. Who's going to have the better clear? Because Nolan is infamous, but these utility junglers also clears very, very fast.
I don't know about you, but I feel like whoever makes that first mistake in the upcoming turtle fight, it's going to heavily snowball in one team's favor, right? We all see what happens. The turtle goes, the purple buff gets controlled, and Miko looking to find some trades.
See, this is what he does every time, right? So this is why I'm saying Stefe as well, he has to be able to protect Yor, he has to be able to come to these side lanes, help them out if they need, and if they can get some type of win, that would be great, right? Miko does this time and time again, but if they can put things into place before that first turtle, like you mentioned, Gideon, that could be great for Imperio here.
I think Miko here is going to be a big core component in the success of Team SMG. In this early stage where there's so much danger, he is that one hero with so much mobility and built-in shielding, so he can really find some information for his team.
Oh, already with the drag back, Stormy. Forced to flicker out. That is what Imperio needed to do. So he's not going to have it for now, at least for a couple minutes. So that should give them that little bit of an advantage for that turtle. Saksa, though, in the mid lane alongside Miko.
That's some great comms coming out for the side of Team SMG. They knew he was on the bottom side, so it's very safe to assume that he's going to be somewhere along that river line, inside that brush. But let's look at the emblems.
Mobility, agility, and wilderness blessing for the Valentina and Cho. And you can see why, man. He's trying to be all over the map as much as possible. For Saksa, he's full utility. He went for the firmness for a bit of extra tankiness, and he's going for the Season Hunter to ensure that he can just clear and match Nolan in the farming rotations as well. In the EXP lane, though, we're seeing this matchup just being a lot more even. But here we go, man. The first big fight.
This is going to be a big one. Already getting the dragon form out. Steppe going to go in. Won't find a target. They just want to battle it out. Looks like Turtle's going to reset. So, Team SMG, happy to get some of these ultimates out.
Extremely happy, in a matter of fact. Like, Black Dragon form is gone. Okay, let's go right in as they contest that purple buff.
Oh, and with that, the fracture is going to be gone as well. Aurora just trying to get the purple buff. They're probably going to give up the turtle. Miko caught behind the lines here. Should be a kill for them, but he's going to make some fancy footwork and get out fine.
That's what we're saying, man. For Imperio Esports, they need lockdown. now that there's not a lot of utility coming from the mid lane technically, without Fashion exposing himself, they need ways to lock someone down. Seeing the Cho pick so early on in the drafting phase, they don't really have any tools to really lock him down there to ensure that he can't be that pesky nuisance on their sides.
Well, that's only for the time being, right? Eventually, once they get their ultimates, now they have like an almost reliable way, but it's really the onus of Miko. Can he dodge it at the right moment? Now, cutting back over to the awards, the EXP side, Smooth's doing a pretty good job here having that level lead, but notice down on bot side, a lot of importance. The roamers, the junglers are hovering around this gold lane.
For now, no real movements towards each other's junglers. I think for Team SMG, they're happy to just go for this more calm playstyle. It's their identity anyways, and against the Netherrealm, there's always the chance that something can go wrong. So if they want to scale up to the late game, they have a Bruno, they have a Valentina. These are very strong heroes with a lot of damage in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to work on it. They're trying to get Stormy here. They get the Netherrealm down. Still going to be going for Aurora. Can't catch up to him. Heavy spin's going to be utilized to push him out of there. Penalty zone right on top of Aurora. They take him out.
From anti-synergy to really nice synergy.
It's so good coming in from Team SMG, dude. They just come in and they force Aurora into these weird spots. And remember, Aurora is the one working against the clock here. He wants to abuse the assassin early game power spike. The longer the game goes, the more utility has a bit more value. That is what Saksa brings to the table.
But Team SMG, they are playing this a little slow, right? I mean, it's important that this Nolan does get this purple buff, but at the end of the day, I was hoping to see that Team SMG was going to take the initiative to try and take away the purple buff, really slow down this Nolan, simply like how they dealt with Aurora in game number 1.
Again, they just want to put him in a situation where they want him to come and fight them, right? They want to whittle him down a little bit. But yeah, if they can put some pressure there on the purple buff, I'm sure they'll do that. But so far, things have just been falling into place for Team SMG. Even right now, this looks like another turtle going to the hands. Miko going to flicker out. He took the orange as well.
He took the orange, dude.
Oh, Aurora, not going to be happy about it. There's the drag back, but Miko's just fine.
It's just not enough damage, right? Aurora really needs to find that very first kill and then start snowballing off of that. And with Smooth dominating his lane at the same time, this is becoming very similar to how game 1 started to look like. I don't expect the lanes to start swapping. I think that right now Team SMG wants to extend the laning phase for as long as possible.
Because they have the mobility advantage right here, right? With the Cho and the Valentina just being everywhere so much faster than Fashion on the Faramis. It's almost like the Faramis pick is kind of giving Valentina just a better ult to have more presence in these big fights. And look at this. Every single time they're trying to set up for something, Miko shows up again and becomes a huge problem. And if they commit to it, they're going to waste a lot of time here once again.
Yeah, I feel like they're just kind of scrambling around right now, and that's what Team SMG is doing so well against Imperio. So Imperio, they have to be able to find something. Get on the board here. Miko going to use the conceal, going to be stopped in his tracks. Forced back though, Saksa on the front of it all. Stormy there holding on to his own Netherrealm. But all of this for that turret, they're happy for that.
Okay. Really good gatekeeping. Wait.
Oh, Smooth has the rest of the team. He'll be just fine.
Dang, so many deterrents just walking up like, oh, you want my boy? You got to get through all of us.
Exactly, that's what a Teresa that's on curve can do. That is not what we saw in game number 1. SMG playing a whole different game. See, Miko just zoning, going behind, threatening an engage, and if Imperio doesn't respect it, then there could be a big fight. And slowly but surely, when they are too preoccupied, Sasa just takes down the turrets bit by bit.
I mean, they gotta whittle them down somehow, chip at them, find an opportunity, and now, honestly, the kill count this game is much, much lower. You know, only first blood achieved by the side of Team SMG. 7 minutes into the game, we haven't seen nothing too crazy just yet, but in terms of pacing, at least Aurora maintains...
Oh, this could be it. They find something. Miko to fall Smooth. Gonna be in trouble too. Aurora on the run. There's the Netherrealm. But Stormy and Sasa here next. Marquita goes in, gets the Petrify off to work on it. Stephanie there as well. They're gonna be zoned out. Can Ur get there in time to put the damage out? He's stuck against the wall. Still gonna be going. Marquino falls. Ur backs off. Only Marquino's down. The trade.
Holy, what a fight.
What a sequence, is back and forth, but that's Imperio equalizing. But look at the gold difference, it's still up there because of the farming difference. Miko now picking a play.
Oh, the bola comes through. keeps Miko in his tracks.
Ooh, that reaction time! Now, while that entire fight was happening, the backline of Imperial Esports was kiting away, and Smooth actually flickered forward to try to take on a 2v1 while he was low, and he was darn close at completing it.
That's one of the rare moments in this game so far where Team SMG aren't the ones initiating, aren't the one in control.
Oh, there
Look
it
at
is.
this though.
Imperial's gonna be the one initiating here. Steffe gonna run back, chase down. Heavy spin on Ur, he's trying to get away. The rest of the team has to get there.
Oh.
NetherRealm for him. They're still gonna fight it out, but Imperial has to disengage.
Oh man, this game is just rubber banding back and forth from both of these sides. Nobody wants to give their opponent an inch, and if they find a kill, they're looking for a trade. And I'm expecting that Imperial Esports this time, they want to trade, but unfortunately, not until Steffe is back.
They lost multiple ultimates in that fight as well. Team SMB used a bit, but they still had 3 while they were going for that Lord. Stormy now also getting the lightning truncheon. That means that for Imperio, now it's not just physical damage they have to worry about. They gotta be worried of, out of nowhere, having a surge of burst damage coming in from Stormy on the mid lane.
I am a little curious about the items though. I would like to have a look at it just to kind of see the pacing of where Aurora is, but wait, hold on.
They might try to find something again. Sox are gonna heavy spin, find Steffe for the lockdown, waiting for the rest of the team to make their way. Smooth also joining the fight from the backside, looking for his own entrance. They're gonna find Steffe, he's caught out. Way of the Dragon comes through. Do they continue on? The penalty zone finds one. Fashion, can he get away? Stormy jumps in, gets the kill, and he's caught under the turret. But another run comes through again for Team SMG. Meanwhile, on the top side, Yer gets taken out by Sasa, and Team SMG running into the top side with the Lord.
That this can't be real right now. It feels like Team SMG are empowered by the crowd behind us, because now they're getting on with this. They're aggressive.
See if they can keep it together. Once again, Marquino takes a couple shots. They still want more. Aurora in trouble. Gets taken out easily from Team SMG. Working on the mid turret. Lord's finally gone. Can Imperial stay in the game?
Team SMG, they don't even have to back away. They can stay here if they want to. Steffe goes in.
Steffe gonna jump in, still gonna be fighting for more. Miko gets the kick again. Fashion down. Penalty zone's gonna be used. Smooth quite low, but Marquino's out. And Team SMG is powered by the crowd and will get the match point.
God dang! What a game! It was just a seesaw, kids at a seesaw, and then as they grow older and older, they're realizing, man, the weight distribution is just too big. We can't balance this out. Team SMG, so much riding on them.
That's crazy, man. It started with them being so tentative, so careful. In the end, it's a slugfest. Woo! No quarter given, man. They just kept going at it non-stop. The referee had to step in there.
The ref had to call it quits like, hey, guys, we need a breather. You can't punch
The ref
him in the
got
back.
injured.
The ref gets injured. In these cases, don't worry, no marshals were hurt in this broadcast. But man, what a game that we have before us. I mean, it's not like Team SMG is, well, outplaying certain situations. I would say that even Imperial themselves are making them fight for every single one of these inches, but once we started to get into that mid/later stages of the game, man, the decision making, one important really bad decision coming in from Imperial made them lose an inhibitor turret. And unfortunately, all points across the map, I thought for sure maybe Bruno was going to die in these spots, but no. Bot side wins, top side wins, inhibitor towers fall at the same time.
I think that the gum and the riding on the hand is paying dividends right now, especially for Miko, because the way that he found some of those Way of the Dragons in the midst of everything was just on point, the right target every single time, and that is something difficult to do because, again, this game, you have the same pick for Steffe, but he was not really able to find any setups this time for the team, anything to help turn the tide of the momentum building there for Team SMG.
Maybe Miko has a curse technique.
Ooh.
A writing curse technique. And on his hand, whatever he writes, the different words give him power. I bet it says dare to be great.
It's just there to be great?
Yep.
That might just be it, man. But right now, let's take a look at the MVP brought to you by the Republic of Gamers.
There he is. Oh!
Discipline!
It says discipline.
Love it. Saksa coming up big time for the team. You have to love this, man. He's coming in 3-0-3 with a 60% kill participation, but boy, was this a slugfest.
And he was a big part of it, man. Tanking all the damage, providing the utility. That's also why it was so difficult for Imperio to find those pickoffs, man. These beefy members in the front, Terizla and Cho. On top of that, Terizla and Akai, and on top of that, the Cho behind them as well. There's just so many problems for them to really try and figure out. And while that's happening, there's a ton of damage coming out from the backline too.
Yeah, I feel like Sasa was having the time of his life. Half the time, we cut on over to him from the observers. He's just standing still. He's just kicking balls. He's just like, yep, I'm having the time of my life. I don't have to kite. I don't have to do much. The rest of my team is doing that for me.
I have a phrase for this in MPL Philippines. I call it the gold lane experience.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you can just have that kind of gameplay where, hey, you don't have to worry about too much, man. You can just farm up near a lane, get to where you need to be, rely on the rest of the team to do everything, and then you pop off later on. That's the gold lane experience, and I feel like that's, again, what they had here.
Yep, in the highlights brought to you by Grab Unlimited, we saw a lot of these moments, right? I think Imperio had some really good ideas, but unfortunately, just the way that Team SMG likes to go for these disengages, there's so many tools to do so.
And you have to remember that this one fight, they got a pick off, but it's always on Miko, man. This one was so annoying that Imperio used multiple ultimates to catch him off, and as a result, they get punished after. And that seems like the beginning of the end, because that's where the laning phase officially ended, and from there, with that winning fight, SMG just went wild. Yeah. And even here, that play, oh, he survived that, by the way, with a Nether Realm.
Yep, he does. He just everything that could have gone wrong for Imperial, especially here at that 9th minute, went wrong. And it's really unfortunate to see how things started to snowball out of control. I don't know how much of the crowd had to play a part of this, but considering how loud they are, it's already affecting us here on the desk. The support is incredible.
The arena right now is absolutely crazy, man. We can barely hear ourselves in the middle of the game, dude. Y'all need to chill out.
They can't. It's home turf.
Home turf.
Look, I mean, this is match point for the side of Team SMG, right? If Imperial has pocket strats to pull out, if Imperial needs to crack the code, it is right now. It's a 2-10 score line, and one of the faster games coming up for Team SMG. 10 minutes! I haven't seen this in a long time.
For some reason, I didn't even know it was 10 minutes right there, right? I mean, it seemed like things just quickly collapsed for Imperio here. And that's what I'm saying, you know, when you draft something like this, again, this was very similar to what we talked from a Game 1 draft. Like, it's risky. You have to be able to pull it off early on, because if you are not able to, you have this tendency to get shut out by these early skirmishes, these early sets, these early objectives. Again, 0-0. And specifically the turtles. Like, if we could just start there for Imperial, right?
Yeah.
Get that point where you can contest the first turtle even. If you, whatever that has to be for them for game number 3, they're facing match point here against Team SMG. They need to be able to fix that alone and then approach, hopefully get to that point where then you can allow Yur to get where he needs to be. This is the second time we've seen the Clint. It's not doing too hot in terms of statistically.
And you're on the Clint, he was running the weapon mastery as well, but 10 minutes, bro. It's not going to really take effect right there. And that's, I think, the idea behind SMG. They have such good execution and such good game plan. And for the most part, Imperio has good ideas, but as a whole, they're not really sure what to do in minute 2 or minute 5, right? At this moments in the game, they seem to be quite confused and trying something, but they don't really have a long laid out roadmap on how they're supposed to achieve that victory, get to those team fights.
Actually, I disagree with that. I disagree because mainly the way that Miko was kind of revealing the plans on those rotations made it particularly difficult, right? Getting that early walk in to figure out where the jungler was going to be. And then as soon as they sniffed out where Steffe was, a lot of the things started to fall in place. They figured out who was going to be the spearhead and which side of the map they were going to attack on, and they could rotate accordingly, allowing rich guy Sasa to come up with 824 gold per minute. And of course, Stormy, the forgotten one, with 6 assists, being able to support all the holes.
We think that the Faramis is going to be the more supporty type mid laner. The Valentina should be doing the damage, but if you look at the cards, man, Fashion is the carry, and the forgotten one instead is Stormy. And I do wonder if that's the main problem here, because we saw for Imperio, they switched out the laners, right? They tried to find a better matchup, a more winning solution. But if for SMG, it seems like that roaming squad, right? The roamer, mid lane, and jungle, that's what really swings the balance in favor of the side laners.
That's again why I always point out, you know, the way that Team SMG has worked so much on every single lane, right? There's a reason why through the wildcard too, the MVPs from their winning games, winning performances, has been pretty much spread across the board, right? For the most part, everybody does such a great job, and even Miko, right? The effect he has alone, just on a Cho, to be able to put pressure where he needs to, find the targets he has to, it does so well for the rest of the team, and that's why I love to see, even with a Bruno priority here for them, Sasa gets to shine so much and have, once again, that experience in the gold lane that allows him to shine later on.
So how do we get around this? How does Imperial take, again, step-by-step process?